Today I'm combining two of my very favorite things, makeup and books. Let's get it. We're going to talk about the 14 books that I read in September while I'm doing a Get Ready With Me. I've not seen anybody do this, so this is new for me, and maybe if y'all love it, we'll do it in the future because I've been getting a lot of requests over on Instagram for an updated makeup routine, so we're just going to go through the process and do it all together. I'm having a bit of a breakout. The first book I finished in September was The Things You Save in a Fire by Catherine Center. I am a massive Catherine Center fan now. She, if you're not familiar, wrote the rom-commers. So good. Bodyguard, very good. But this book, excellent. I gave it 4 stars. Highly, highly, highly recommend. The second book that I read in September was Do-Over by Lynn Painter. Painter is another one of my very favorite authors. She does a lot of YA, but I actually really love her YA because it doesn't feel juvenile. It doesn't feel like too young. But this book was so cute. To tell you what The Things You Save in a Fire was about, but it's about a female firefighter. And I've just never really, I have firefighters in my family. I just never thought about being a firefighter from a female's perspective. Obviously I knew that, females are firefighters, but I just never really thought about it because it's not something that interests me personally. But it was such a good book. It was so well done. But The Do-Over is actually basically like a YA version of Groundhog Day, the movie with Bill Murray. She was living the same day over and over and over again, but she couldn't figure out what it was that needed to change, and it was just so good. Next book that I read was Wear It Well by Alison Bornstein. Basically a self-help book, but about your closet and about how to feel your absolute best when you open your closet by, like making sure you're buying the things and keeping the things. It's kind of like Marie Kondoing your closet in the best way possible. I appreciate the sentiment. I appreciate the book, but it could have been done without it being a book, because there was a bunch of information that didn't need to be there. It was longer than it needed to be. It could have been a YouTube video. Then I realized, we're like halfway through September, or about to be, and I need to be on the bandwagon for fall. So I went to A Season for Second Chances by Jenny Bayless. It's one of those books that popped up on my Goodreads, and I fell in love with the cover. It showed up on a fall list. I'm not really sure how I found it. It was cute. I gave it 3 stars, but it was forgettable. I can't remember the characters' names. I know that it happened in this little seaside town, England, and I'm glad I read it, but it's not one that I'm telling my friends, oh my gosh, you have to go read it, but it's cute, and it definitely gives you the fall vibes. It hits Halloween, Christmas, all of the wintry, fallish things. Next opinion might be a little controversial, and I'm okay with that, because just remember, if I love something doesn't mean you'll love something, and vice versa. That's what's so cool about books, is that we don't have to love the same thing, or we can. It doesn't matter. It's I just love that. And Pumpkin Spice Cafe. One of those books that you are seeing literally everywhere right now. Everywhere. And I get it, because it's so of the moment. One of the main reasons I wanted to read Pumpkin Spice Cafe is because the author's name is Lori Gilmore, and y'all know I love Gilmore Girls. Did I like it? Yes. Did I love it? Not really. Would I recommend it? Sure, because it's so seasonal. I gave it 3.5 stars. And just a quick note, I definitely plan on reading the next one. Cinnamon Bun Store, whatever it is. I'm going to read the next one. This next book is another Book Talk Made Me Do It, and it's A Love Letter to Whiskey by Candy Steiner. And whoever says this is their favorite book needs to get counseling, because this is the most toxic love story outside of Magnolia Parks. I mean, it was whiplash, back and forth, will they, won't they, and I just didn't enjoy it. I gave it 3 stars because I wanted to love it and because it's so hyped, and I mean, there were parts that I definitely loved, but it was a very aggravating journey for me. And then I moved on to Funny Feelings by Tara DeWitt. Now, this is another one that shows up on all of the fall TBR lists, must-read lists, book talk lists, all of it. I was not disappointed by it. If you are a fan of Marvelous Mrs. Maisel and you love a female comedian, you are gonna love this. It is definitely Grumpy Sunshine, hardcore. It's just delightful. It's delightful. I gave it 4 stars, and I totally think that it's worth a recommendation, worth a read. You're going to notice that basically all of the next books that I read the rest of the month are fall themed in some way, shape, or form, because I love a theme. The next book was The Fallback Plan by Melanie Jacobson. I got this one for free on Hoopla. By the way, I have a blog post up right now with all of the fall books that I love, because you're going to notice that the rest of these books are basically fall themed. All of the books that I have read, what I rated them, where you can get them, especially if they're available for free, and then also the ones that are on my TBR. So one is a pass. It was so cutesy that it was like basically every Hallmark movie balled up into a book, and it's a little bit of a yawn fest. I gave it 2 stars. Very first book I've read by Hannah Bonham Young, and she is quickly becoming one of my favorite authors. It was Next of Kin. This is another one that's showing up on all of the fall lists, and it was so good. It is about a girl who finds out that I think she's like 22, 24. She finds out that her mother, who is estranged, has all kinds of addiction issues, has a baby, didn't know she was pregnant, and then she is next of kin, so she's going to take guardianship of her baby sister, who is in the NICU, has, born way too soon. And then there's a love interest, Grumpy Sunshine. It's just forced proximity. It's so good. I gave it 4 stars, and there is a follow-up. There's a part 2, and I cannot wait to read part 2. I went back to the YA genre with The Naturals, and that one is by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I loved that book. Loved it. It is the coolest concept or premise. It's about a group of teenagers who are born with this insane ability to crack cases for the FBI, and it's just really, really well done, really interesting. It does not feel like it's a YA book. I gave it 4 stars. It's a series, and I cannot wait to read the next book because I just think that it was so well done. The next book was Pumpkin Everything, and that is actually a Hallmark movie, I found out, and it was written by Beth Labonte. I'm not really sure how you pronounce that, but it was cute. I gave it 3 stars. It's small town. I want to say it's Connecticut. It's about a girl who left home after having her heart broken back, graduating high school, goes back, reconnects with her high school flame. She went back to take care of her grandfather, who runs a pumpkin-themed gift shop. So it's very, very fall, which I appreciate. Again, a theme. Like, I immediately am going to give something 1 star at least for a theme, and it does deliver on that front. It's a little cheesy, but it's cute. Again, 3 stars. The next book is My Grumpy Neighbor by Anna Conwell. Not a fan. It was one that showed up on the TBRs for fall on, I think, BookTok, maybe Goodreads. It's about a girl who has a damaging past, doesn't have any friends in small town Georgia, meets her next door neighbor. He's really standoffish, da-da-da-da-da-da. It's fall. Not a whole lot of theme there. Yes, he's grumpy, so obviously Grumpy Sunshine. But I wasn't a fan. I gave it 2 stars. I then read Out on a Limb by, again, Hannah Bonham Young, who I love. And y'all, this book was a treat. It is about a girl who's born with a limb difference, and she has a shortened arm, and she calls it her baby arm, and she ends up having a one-night stand, and this is not giving anything away because it literally tells you this in the first 30 seconds of the book, with a guy who's got a prosthetic leg, and they end up getting pregnant. And so, there's a lot of people who don't like the pregnancy trope. I understand that, but this book is so good. It is way spicier than I ever thought that it could be. Highly recommend. 4 stars. The last book is a novel love story by Ashley Poston. I read a novel love story because I loved 7-Year Flip. Dead Romantics I enjoyed too. I knew that it would have some sort of mystical, magical component, and it delivered. I gave it 3.5 stars. I enjoyed it. Leave a comment and let me know, should I do more of these Get Ready With Me book reviews?